We have another classic episode on the Productive Conversations podcast. And why is that? Because I guarantee you, I have two of the biggest rising stars in the hip hop and rap game. And I'm not just saying that the brown nose. I'm saying that because of their genuine talent, both on their stage presence, both with their rhymes, both with their flow and their production value. So I have the stair climbers themselves, Alex King and Famo, the two members of the company, New York City's best rap group right now. What's going on, Famo and Alex? Thank you for joining us.
A hell of an intro. That's the best intro I had.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I need you to open me. I need you to open.
Hell of an intro.
I'm always open for any opportunities. Just speaking the truth. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
So, man, how we doing? We just started off. What's going on in the lives of Famo and Alex?
Man,
you want? No, you go.
All right, for sure. Yeah, we in the middle of album mode, dropping the album.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doing press runs. Reaching out direct to consumer. You know what I mean? Like you said, we're stairs climbers. So every time we go up one stair, we got a lot to do. You feel me? It's not like we just on the escalator going the way up, on the elevator on the way up. Every single step that we climb, that's us actually doing something. So that's what we're doing right now, pushing Let's Talk.
All right. And what's going on with you, Alex? How are we doing?
Oh man, taking it a day at a time, and I'm not competing with anyone. I'm just literally just trying to be better than who I was yesterday, and just progressing, just putting one foot in front of the other. That's Let's Talk, and just putting the other foot in front.
I love it. And one thing Famo did mention, and what brings us here today, not only to have a Productive Conversations podcast to catch up with me and Alex, originally met each other through working at MTV. Now my new friend Famo right here, as we enhance our collaboration and networking opportunities and just being around creative people. But they have a new album, the Let's Talk album. Their second album, it's on thecompany.com. And you could get that album straight from their website, and it'll be on all streaming platforms very, very soon. So having
companydna.com, at thecompany.dna.com.
Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. So yes, the companydna.com. Check it out over there for their amazing content. And we're going to get to know these guys a little more. So having said all that, my first question here for us in the audience, Alex and Famo, tell me how you guys originally met.
You want to tell a story, bro? You like to tell the story.
I don't like to tell a story. I used to battle him every day and smoke him.
This guy.
Nah. We were both artists that came in early, and in this dorm room called M. at the world famous Howard University. Shout out to Kamala. Shout out to all the amazing alumni. Mm-hmm. And that school right there, it puts you in a blender of creativity. You know, from alumni like Anthony Anderson, Diddy, Taraji P, and just countless others, Marlon Wayans. Mm-hmm. It puts you in a blender of entertainers, and it basically is almost like an entertainment boot camp. I can't lie to you. People are out there, young Blacks are out there. They're starting their stores, they're starting their political careers, and they're starting their endeavors for tomorrow. The biggest entrepreneurs I've ever seen that are doing collaborations. I just seen a kid that used to sell his clothing on the yard, literally just ink a deal with clothing with the NBA for All-Star Weekend.
Just like that?
No, it was a long journey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
like 8 years.
He just inked the deal with the NBA, and I remember he was begging people to buy his clothes on the yard. So when you see that every day, it's that level of greatness that you can aspire to be. And I think me and him were coming in at the same time where we were both aspiring to be these artists coming from New York, coming from the same place. We didn't know each other at all. And magically, he was placed in front of my dorm room. His dorm room was there. And we weren't a group or anything at the time. He was doing his own solo music. And I used to just, I think we kept running into each other at all of these shows. And I'm like, yo, you pretty good. And he's like, yo, you pretty good. Let's start working on music together. And, long story short, the music was amazing. And we just never stopped making music since. But if he wants to battle, we can still get it.
I feel like we still got that, that competitiveness in us when we make music, when we on shows, and that's what makes it fun. You feel me?
I do feel you guys. Look at that. I think there was some, if we believe in, what's meant to be will happen. You guys seemed were meant to be in those two dorm rooms. You were meant to talk to each other, and you were meant to create music. And you guys been around since 2013, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a nice solid 8 years to keep grinding, and here you are now. So guys meet in college. You know that, hey, I like your vibe. He likes my vibe. We're both talented at what we do. So you said it was the early roots of the company being created. And I know you guys were originally called something else. So could you tell my audience what you guys were originally called and how that turned into the company?
Well, this logo behind me that says D on this side, A on that side, that's what we used to be called, DNA. Real simple, Derek and Alex. And it's actually kind of crazy because just to like extend that story that Alex told, like when we first linked up, it wasn't really to be in a group. It was to win a competition, right? Howard had this like competition that they do every year called Howard's Hottest.
Mhm.
And we were like, yo, let's make a song together, and try to like perform it at the competition. And we did that, and it took off. People like would walk up to us singing that song, you know what I mean? And we were like, all right, maybe we should keep doing this. But just to get back to the question, we used to be called DNA, and in New York, there's a lot of artists there, and there's some artists who had similar name to us. So we wanted to really differentiate ourselves,
Yeah.
so there's no confusion. So we took the Derek and Alex, which is DNA, and formed the company, the Derek and Alex Company, essentially. So
Look at
that's how we went from DNA to the company. That's why we kind of still keep that DNA on like our socials, just so people can, oh yeah, okay, I remember,
Yeah, of course. Can't forget those.
Not only that, to be honest with you, we changed the name, but the same thing is the same. DNA, the company, it's all genuinely about being you, and that's all it is. Like, I never wanted a name like Little Alex. Well, that used to be my rap name when I was 12, Lil AK. But I disingenuously always want to be in myself, and I think you're the only one with your DNA. So even down to the name is the Derek and Alex Company. It's only us. We can only be ourselves. That's it.
Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, I see you. That seemed to be something that naturally came together. And we always have to believe the natural stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what people gravitate to, because anything that's not natural, people are going to be able to see through that and comb through that and fish through that. And then you're exposed, and it's hard to come back when you're exposed, So it's easier for us to just be genuine, to do what's natural, to do just what seems effortless and is not forced, because those is what relates to people. You feel me?
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people who want to start companies with their friends, start BNY company. Like we did the company. Back stuff.
One question I have regarding that, some people say it's hard to be in business with your friends. Some people don't even suggest not to do it. And, just in particular with your guys' case, why do you guys defy that? Working 8 years, pretty confident they'll be, as a fan of you guys, and I know it's your fan base, the family, but how do you guys think you defeat that, that cliche of not working with your friends, not working with family, but how come you guys mesh so well together with that?
I tell him all the time, I'm not his friend. I'm his business partner. I really don't like him that way. I don't.
Yeah.
We argue all the time, and that's the thing. In any collaboration, if you're a creative that's trying to streamline anything, and you having a million thoughts, and you want things to right now, just a million thoughts in your mind come out. It's harder when you're in a group, and you got to kind of humble yourself. It's something that I've been working on for a long time, and humbling myself, because now there's a 50% of this conglomerate that also has a say so if this is good or not. And sometimes you hate it, but it's also being able to put your pride to the side and be like, it might be better with that. You might have thought it was the hottest shit in the world, and somebody might have to be there in your ear like, yeah, that shit's kind of whack, bro.
Yeah, it is. I think that's it's always about that honesty. And again, when we talked about the natural stuff and the genuine, sometimes it just works. I mean, honestly, it's like, to be blunt, it just works, whether in business and music and performing and go sports. You could talk about any industry really. It just, sometimes things just work, and don't take it for granted when it does.
Yeah.
So, guys, finish up in Howard, go back to New York, and it goes, Alex, you're from Queens, family, you're from Brooklyn.
Mhm.
So now that you guys know you got something here, can you talk to me about like some of the early writing process, some of the early songs you guys had before this album? For instance, some great songs I could suggest, whether it was On Delay or Used To or Switch Up. You guys also have a SoundCloud album known as A Little Taste of Success. Can you talk to me about some of those early collaborations up until getting ready for Let's Talk?
Yeah, I
He
think.
did his research, huh?
Yeah, he did. He did. You're good. You're good. You're good. You want some? What's his name?
Nardwuar, he on his
Nardwuar.
Nardwuar.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, who? I didn't hear that. What was that?
Yeah.
Nardwuar, you Nardwuar vibes.
Nothing but, man. And better yet, I'm Matt Brown. So we're here
Hey,
to productive conversation.
Ah!
All right, but like I said, even before this, I'm just a genuine fan. So
that might be the sound clip that, you know how like Joe Rogan has his like sound clip for the show, that sound.
every
Better
time.
yet, I'm Matt Brown. Like
Uh-huh.
that might have been it. That was fire.
That was good. That was good.
You're making my job easier, guys. Thank you, man. I just appreciate the energy with that. And before this, like I said, just a genuine fan when me and Alex met at MTV, and just following ever since. But could you talk to me about like that early production process, getting those songs together, and your first album and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. That first album, I feel, from my perspective, was kind of easy to make, simply because there was zero pressure on us. We was in a space where we were living life every day. One day seemed like a month of life, literally, not even joking. Just being in that atmosphere we were in college, where that whole microcosm of being at Howard. One day, I'm gonna say it again, one day of life felt like a month. So we had so many stories to tell. So all of the music was just journal entries. It was just, yo, this is what my day was like. This is what your day was like. Damn, it's crazy. Woo, woo. You know what I mean? So those were easy to make. And I feel like as far as sound goes, we were throwing a lot of things on the wall, trying to see what sticks, what people gravitate to the most, you know? So that was kind of easy for us. I feel that's when we were making Make Me Feel Good, which sounds completely different from Pushing Myself Away in a certain ways, which sounds completely different from No, 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 which also sounds completely different from Roses at Your Funeral. You know what I mean? Like all of those songs are completely different, and they were all like early stages of our like music production career together as the company, right? So if that answers your question, yeah, I feel like that was the process. It was a little bit easy. We were throwing paint on the walls, trying to see what our sound was. And then once we started getting the idea of what people like from us, that's when things started to get a little more focused. We started taking our time with things like, okay, let's be a little more particular because this is what we know works. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. What do you have anything to add to that, Alex?
I completely agree. I kind of sum it up to, that was like our freshman year or our rookie year in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And we showed them we deserve to be on the floor, not on the bench. And we showed you everything in our arsenal we can do. We had songs on there that had rock inspired songs. We had R&B songs. We had lyrical rap songs. We had trap songs. We were literally showing like, I can do the 1, 2, 3 or the 4. And if you need me to be the 5, I'll still dunk the shit out of it. And I think that's how we can sum it up to. It was just an amazing display of everything we can do. And I think it was the catalyst to let us know, and from the response of the whole school and the community, because we went on a national tour after that, like, yo, we deserve to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So really finding your voice and finding your brand and figure out who you are, because you want to stick out. Because, anyone, I mean, not anyone, but, like lots of people have aspirations to perform and make music. But it seems that you guys were really trying to find what DNA Now the company really was, and what makes you stick out from all these other people trying to have SoundCloud tracks and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Really putting boots to the ground. Like, we thought just dropping music at a point and sharing your link out and putting a picture on Instagram was enough at a point. And I think during that rookie year, we learned you also got to have your jumper ready. And with Insane, that means we had to go out, and there would be times we would do 3-4 shows in a day. We would go state to state and have to make it back to class in the morning. Like, God knows how hard it was. We got out of there, and we finally figured out a system to graduate and balance firing musicians. But a lot of it was that was the best place that we could ever be as artists, to go through this rap camp, to go through 12,000 kids out of school all trying to do entertainment, rap, music, whether it be TV or anything. So you could go and do an interview with somebody that was starting their own show. You could go to somebody that was starting their own event company. You can go collaborate with somebody who was doing clothing. It was a microcosm world to get you ready for the real world. So when we out here and we finally left, we just realized, yo, we just took over that world. In this real world, it's the same thing, just bigger. Imagine what we could do.
It's this, and I'm starting to realize, like, even some of those relationships that we formed there, those, like Alex said when we started this interview, those people who were starting their companies, those people who were starting those event companies, those people who were starting those PR companies, those management firms, those studios, all of those things that people were starting is what they're running them on a large scale now. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of, like, maintaining those relationships and tapping in and making sure we do our part so that, like, you know, it makes sense. Because at the end of the day, nothing is a favor. You know what I mean? It has to just make sense.
That's why we don't burn bridges. That's why we keep the best relationships possible. And that's why we remember to stay in touch with people who, you know, we grew up with and had great and planted the seeds with, because that's how you know you could generally trust them, for one. And two, that's just the way it goes, because you guys could know where you come from, you know, the heartaches and all that. And I really admire that. And I exactly know what you feel with my podcast. I thought it also was you just post on Instagram, but no, it's all about creating other social media platforms, putting it on Twitter, creating a TikTok, creating the video highlights, spreading the word, having various guests from all over, but we just do it naturally and do it for fun. And that's just how we're brand creators. And we have to know that if it was easy, everybody would do it, but we have to keep pushing it, especially for the brand, most of all, and can't forget it, and be patient with it.
Yeah. Everybody says they want to do it, Matt. Very seldom and very few want to throw up 100 or to 1,000 shots in the backyard at night before they go to sleep.
But it also depends what kind of player you're trying to be in the league. You know what I mean? Like, it depends on the kind of player you're trying to be in the league, in the sense of, and using that metaphor for music, and I'm going to bring it back to the stairs climber connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's clear, and if it's not clear, I'm going to try to make it clear now, like, what we're trying to do and accomplish as artists, right? In the independent lane, and just trying to hold integrity for artists. That's what the company represents, essentially. That's what we're looking to represent. You know what I mean? And we would have took the elevator if that wasn't our trajectory, if that's not where we planned on going. You know, but because we understand where we're trying to take it, what the responsibility and our purpose is, we understand that it requires us to take the stairs, you know, and that builds us to the strong, dominant player who has all his moves together, who has his I's dotted and his T's crossed.
Yeah, I think that's also, you create a more genuine audience that respects you by doing it that way. I mean, there's plenty of people who've gotten various opportunities. There are people who are born on third base and second base and first, but we just have to remember what we're here for. And that's for our audience. That's especially for you guys to create music and tell stories and represent what various people are going through. So I really respect that. And you realize, both of you realizing that and pushing through, you know?
For sure, bro.
So one thing to transition, and you mentioned early days of DNA, then the company, go on a national tour, talk to me about your first gigs. Talk to me about your early gigs. Talk to me about what it was like to perform in front of various people, and like where were those early gigs, and was there any like crazy bizarre stories? Like I've had stand-up comedians talk to me about getting heckled really bad and almost starting fights with people. Now, I'm not saying that you guys are trying to start fights with the audience, but I'm just saying, did you guys see anything out of the ordinary? Was it a typical early gigs, lots of ways to earn yourself and stuff like that? Is it like when Prince opened up for the Rolling Stones and got booed off the stage type of shit?
We've had those. We've had those, and we've had not booed off the stage dramatically, but like we had in a situation where we were on a show, we were doing a show, getting ready to perform, and someone let off some tear gas, and it was like
Fuck, what?
the whole like place just got empty when we on stage, just looking crazy. Crazy. I feel like, you know, and that was one of the first times that's when I knew we were meant for this, because that was one of the first times I felt really hurt by a performance. You get what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, especially with the literal sets of having tear gas just to get your own safety. But you also know that anything can happen. You just have to get that stage time.
But on a more positive note, you could talk about some early performances.
I want to bring up that show in particular. I remember that moment when the whole audience got tear gas because.
And where was this? Where was this?
This was at Howard in the punch out in the lunchroom. And the crazy thing was we was promoting all day for this show. It was supposed to be a secret show. It was really hard as an artist at that time to promote your music because our school only wanted to focus on academics and no longer wanted to push the rhetoric of people wanted to be in entertainment.
Really?
So they completely stopped all social activity. And it's crazy. The guy who kind of runs the music game ended Howard's social activity, bro. I lie to you not. Drake came to Howard and literally ruined all social activity because his performance was that great.
Is it worth it?
His performance?
Yeah, was his performance worth having the social game down?
It was nuts. He came out. He did hell yeah fucking right. I didn't even go to the school yet. Once I saw that, I said, nah, I need to go here. I remember you. I
think I remember when we were at MTV, you showed that clip and he was rocking the Red Howard
yes.
sweater. Yeah. Wow. I mean, can't get any
luxury. Yeah, got that sweater like maybe 20 minutes before stage.
But just a fun fact about that, after he did that, it caused such a commotion at the school that the fire marshal of DC put a ban on Howard ever having that many people. That's why homecoming hasn't been that big since.
Man.
And they put a social lock on. So even the students after that performance, it was so hard, bro. So hard. You couldn't do any music on the yard. That's where we all congregate. So that got shut. Then this got shut down. We couldn't do any shows. So when that finally happened and everybody got tear gas, it was like, damn, like we can't win.
Yeah.
But that was the big push for us to go on that national tour. We couldn't do anything there anymore.
Yeah. So even after getting robbed like that, so it almost is like if you're a stand-up comedian, get bumped by the huge headliner, and then you lose your stage. It's kind of like what you guys are, and you just found another place to perform. So hitting on that national tour and the other places you've performed at, tell me, where are some of your guys' favorite place you've ever had a show throughout your early career in this?
Yeah, there's so many. It's kind of crazy. Like I didn't even think it was that many until you asked that question. We only can pick one each?
Oh, you can pick multiple. Go crazy. Go crazy if you want.
All right.
I pay for these log Zoom, so use an advantage.
I think for me, one of the first ones was Knitting Factory. Our first Knitting Factory show, because that was one of the first times where we came in and we like rented out a space and headlined it and all of that, you know. And it was, for me personally, I remember I just got so lost in that performance. I jumped in the crowd, started mosh pitting. Like I have that video to Get Your Bread. It was crazy. It was one of my
Like
favorite.
Travis Scott almost.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was one of my favorite performances. I'm gonna let you go next. I am not trying to steal all of them.
Um, for me, my favorite performance,
Or one of them.
I would say the first one, and I'm saying that because it wasn't the biggest, it wasn't the best, but it was the one that showed me the possibilities that it could happen. Um, and it happened all by accident, but in the right way. You know, we went to Brooklyn Fireproof in Williamsburg. We came home. We used to record at the studio around the corner. We used to pass this venue every day. Like, yo, well, let's just go inside and ask if they would, like, you know, want to partner up and do a show. We go inside and we meet this lady, and this lady's so nice, man. She's like, you know what? Yeah, come. It's no charge. No charge. Come. Bring hundreds of people. So they're like, oh shit. All right, bet. No payment? It's like, no. Come. Right? So we come, we're promoting this show. It's during spring break at Howard. Our whole class goes to PCB, Panama City Beach. This is like the biggest thing at that time. You know, you can't even go to PCB and drink on the beach anymore. It's illegal.
Did you guys cause that too?
Nah. But
we call some other shit though.
But just make a long story short, you know, we're promoting this whole thing. So all the people from New York at Howard that aren't going on spring break come back to New York to come to this show. We got a couple hundred people there. A lot of you not. Rooms packed. I'm talking about from the front to the back. I've been trying to look for this video for years. We have one of the biggest hosts at our school hosting the show, Izzy on the mic. He doesn't host anymore. That I always forever am grateful for him because he always pushed us. Like he always told us we was gonna be big. We go, we do this thing. The room is completely packed out, huge. This lady pulls us to the side, like, I gotta shut this down. And we're like, what do you mean we gotta shut this down? She was like, what is this? Mind you, we went through this whole day setting everything up. She goes, yeah, the person that booked you guys, actually her last day was Friday. We fired her. And she must have did this to spite us because there's a $500 safety deposit and a $150 an hour booking fee. Mind you, we're two college kids. We don't have that fucking type of money right now.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked.
Yeah.
But
that's my spring break budget.
But
if that.
At the time, man, we just had that mouthpiece, and I owe this to him in business. We just had that mouthpiece to kind of calm her down and say, look, I don't want to cause a problem in your establishment. We got 200 people that paid their money to come here. You don't want them to come in here and fuck this shit up, right? You know? But we come to a mutual agreement, and we did a slight payment with her. I think we did like little $60 an hour, boom, 5 hours. And we made, on our first show ever, it showed us how important it is to have ownership of something. Our first show ever, we made $1,000. We made $1,000 cash and was able to pay all our artists that performed, paid for the venue. And it said, yo, we could do this on our own. Why do we need a middleman? And that's when Let's Talk kind of came in our mind.
Man, that's really motivating. And it shows that business really is a 24/7 game. Man, look at that. So what are the things? All right, at this point, we're performing, starting to get a fan base, we're home, we make some other tracks, are on SoundCloud. Before we get into Let's Talk itself, I want to really know this because you've done this in particular before Let's Talk, but you guys really make some very high quality music videos. And I mean, really well produced, shot well, lit well, some great cinematography from my fellow film geeks who love it. You guys really tell stories and you make it entertaining and it looks really professional. Can you talk to me about the brand with creating music videos? And like I said, this was before this album, and we've seen songs from this album with great videos, whether it's 30 for 30 or Focus. But talk to me about your music video in particular. I think that's a really strong point that you guys do to promote your music, is how well your well produced your videos are. So talk to me about that.
I think the road to producing high quality videos for us was a really long one. Like for real, like to the point where even back in 2013, we would spend hours watching Dom Kennedy videos trying to figure out how do we make it look like this on a low budget? How do we where do we find a videographer who we can build a connection with, you know? And once that was difficult to figure out, it was all right, let's just shoot our own shit. You know what I mean? So even with that, I feel we learned more. Credit to A is when we stepped into production. You know what I mean? Like when we stepped into production and started actually working in production and learning the details, because back then I just thought a lot of lighter tool, bring the camera out, something, you know what I'm saying? Like, but once we started realizing what it takes to create that Dom Kennedy video, we started to implement that. And instead of making Dom Kennedy videos, I'm about to take a little bite off you. We made the company videos. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we got to that big scale, because we learned the ins and outs of production. We knew exactly what we wanted and we understood how to get it there. We just needed pieces to help us get it there.
And we did it on our own. Most of our brand is about betting on ourselves. So we started the company Strand Productions. All the videos you see, we produce on our own. And we have an amazing director that allows us, shout out to Toops Productions, who allows us to take these crazy ideas and visions and helps us bring it to life. But I think he'll even tell you, like, when I say we produce, we set up, we have food there, we will cast all the people, we'll have everything down to the call sheet. You know, we're not just artists showing up like, yo, I got 50 hood niggas behind me. Let's just jump up and down in front of the camera with guns in the camera. Like, that's not our brand. Like, that's not our brand. Unless you want to play Come Outside, that's my brand. But,
even to touch on that, right? Like, my theory is, even if we're going to do the video where it's 50 hood niggas and there's mad guns, right? It needs to look like a feature film.
Yeah, that's your strong point with your videos. It's right away is, it's cinematic. I can honestly say that. Like, it's just, again, it's just a camera movement so well, and bouncing around. And I mean, even if you're bouncing around, there's just real stories coming through your videos, and they're just really great to watch. I just, I commend anybody who wants to create content, especially what they got. I really do. But with that, you see a lot of not so good stuff. You see more of those bouncing around, people walk around their neighborhoods only just to create the same look, and a lot of people just borrowing from each other. But I wouldn't be surprised if you hit six figures on a budget. They're like, look like big budgeted music videos from like Lyrical Lemonade, or any Vimeo, person who puts out a Vimeo. They're just so well done. I really commend you guys on that. And go to YouTube, check out the companies, and look at all their videos.
Please, and subscribe to the YouTube. Comment on every video, like every video.
Yes, sir.
So I'm happy to notice that, like, maybe a lot of people don't know. When they see it, they notice, But video and cinematography is a big part of our brand, and I think people are starting to put us synonymous with great visuals always. If we put out a bad video, they're like, "What's going on? You guys all right?"
That's important. It's that expecting of the high quality that you can produce, and it just matches so well with the actual production of your tracks and stuff. And I mean, that's you have to be synonymous with that. You were about to say something, Famo?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, for a long time, like, there was a gap in music where videos started taking the back burner, right? Like, people weren't obsessed with putting out high quality, conceptualized, high budget videos like they do now in 2021, right? And honestly, if it wasn't for the baby, I feel like it would end up.
Hey, give him his flowers.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the baby, I feel like a lot of us starting with us, we wouldn't have put that pressure on us to really up our game like that. And just paying attention and being a music fan, a lot of people in the industry are jacking him, are taking some of his styles and have pushed their music video quality up based off of the kind of content that he was putting up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's whatever ways to get your audience to keep growing. Just make it in your own sense, though. Again, you don't want to. You'll just say, "Oh, that's just someone copying the baby." You could go if you want to go crazy with 6ix9ine videos. If you want to go Rebecca Black with Friday, I mean, anyone can make that stuff like that. But what's great is this is the company video. And I just really wanted for a long time. I've always wanted to say that. And again, check them out. Go to the company, like and subscribe on YouTube, and you'll be insanely entertained. So,
can I ask you a question? Do you feel like
yes.
we have our own video style?
Your own video style? I would say yes. I could see when I watch a video, especially with the colors in particular, you have a lot of like very luscious and very like a lot of blues and lavenders and having those the cameras in that way if you want to get real, film nerdy on that. But I could tell when I'm watching the company video. And whether it's like your 30 for 30s, a lot of darker themes, but in the sense, but like really chill out and stuff like that. That's what I personally notice and see.
So,
So, and my personal favorite, even though it's an older one, I think it was On Delay. And it was right in the parking garage. Was it a Mercedes? It was just some awesome sports car.
Audi.
An Audi. Yeah. So
my boy Rowdy Mike, man.
I really like that one in particular. So yeah, and like that one, like again, it was a little darker but more sagey, more comforting feeling in that sense.
Thank you, man. That's what we aim to produce, the Steven Spielbergs of music.
Please keep on doing it. And I know you guys will. So while we talk about your new album, like I said, let's talk.
Cool.
You can check it out on the check it out on thecompanyDNA.com.
Yeah, you got it.
And don't forget,
you got to it somehow, but you got
it. But yes, and don't forget, they will be on streaming platforms very, very soon. But seriously, it is worth the investment with the 9 great tracks and the skit they have here. So, the first thing I want to talk about with your album in particular. Tell me how the pandemic became a factor in producing this album. How did you maneuver with all the restrictions and everything going on to get this produced and released?
I didn't. I set my ass in bed. I had COVID. I had caught COVID. I caught COVID during the most essential month of the project. It's when we were supposed to shoot Come Outside video. It's been on delay for a little while because every time we try to get back and have that somebody catches COVID, that's essential to shooting this video. So we take the pandemic very seriously, especially after having it, and it caused major delays. This project's supposed to come out 1 million times, but this project, we had the listening party a year ago, but when COVID came out, I had a knee surgery, I had different things that was already plaguing me. And then when COVID came, it was like we kept thinking it was going to end. We just didn't know an end date. And the worst thing is to drop music and you can't tour. You can't do no shows. So COVID definitely played a major factor in this project. But I think it also played a major role in making this project become how good it is. We had so much time to focus on the skits, on the story, on bringing you wouldn't have a Come Outside if COVID didn't happen. You wouldn't have had I Had To. You wouldn't have had Always Knew.
Okay, well, man, I'm sorry you had to go through that, Alex, but we're really glad you made a recovery and bring us here to that. How was the for you, Famo, though? How was the process dealing with COVID on your end and all the production delays? And like I saw you photo shoot delays and creating video delays. How did you deal with this insane obstacle?
Man, just kind of taking the punches on the chin, just like everybody else, because I was stuck in the unknown, just like everybody else. You like really think about it. I'm looking at the calendar right now. This is around the time last year we found out about COVID.
Yep.
This is literally around the time, right? And maybe like 2 weeks before this time, we were just dropping Focus, right? And for us, that was supposed to be the lead single to Let's Talk. So within a couple of weeks, Let's Talk should have been rolling out. But for us, it was like, let's wait out till COVID ends. Like in my head, I thought COVID was going to be done by June. June 2020. You know what I mean? And we in 2021, we're still in the middle of COVID. So it went from let's wait it out until it's over, and then it became, I don't think this is about to be over anytime soon. So we got to figure something else out, you know. And then now we have to go back to the drawing boards and re-strategize and redevelop ways to push music, create new music, and just dealing with people around you catching COVID and just trying to be safe so you don't catch COVID. Like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. Honestly, I feel like 5 to 10 years from now, these are gonna be some of the most interesting stories to tell, like the younger generation. But I don't know how we did it. You know, it was just rolling with the punches. Like, if all right, this comes up, well, what could we do? It's not like we could be like, yo, get out the hospital, come out of quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it was just rolling with the punches. There's not much we could do.
Yeah, well, I mean, you did what you had to do. I commend both of you guys doing that. That's just how much you care about the brand and music, that even with that, you still have something to produce, and you have music to promote. And even with all that, you were still able to not let this bring you down.
We did
And
what we had to.
that's what it is. And, you know, I talked to like my friend Dre on the show. The pandemic really made or break everyone. And we got some, even though it's just still horrible, it's very much a real thing. And we feel for all the people who are going through it and the families members who sadly lost someone from it. But, you know, we still trust science. We thank our healthcare workers for getting us through this. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. And this.
Hold on. Shout out to the healthcare workers.
Absolutely, man. A shout out to them. I don't have a mayor to them, but
I didn't have a pan, you know, I ain't had a pan or whatever. We're gonna make it work.
Right, exactly. So
as artists, we were walking on like a really thin line, especially as upcoming artists, you know, because for people who are already established, they have the luxury to chill during COVID. They have the luxury to be like, I'm gonna just chill. When this is over, I'm gonna go get my bag, drop some music.
literally, right.
You know what I mean? But for us, imagine if we continued to say we'll wait COVID out. We would have lost a year.
Yeah. Can't get that time back. And anything, you're not even promised tomorrow with this too.
You know, so we're dancing on a thin line of how do we continue to drop music, promote, have direct to consumer, sell products in the middle of a pandemic where people have no jobs, are getting sick, don't want to hear music, losing family members, all of that. You know, like I lost, you know, like not even to bring here, like I lost like 3 family members at the end of last year.
Sorry to hear that, Fame.
You know what I mean? Nah, it's all good. I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, it's still like, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. You got to find ways to just cut through those obstacles and hit that goal of yours. And I feel like that's what we was doing.
And really do it for the culture. Do it for those I mean, just do it for you have to do it for those who care. And that's what's great about your music, especially. It does help people get through some stuff like this. That's why people really turn to artists, especially the worst of it, and still continue to. I mean, in any obstacle, we turn to artists to help us get through it and connect with it. So thank you for not losing that drive to continue to do it for the audience and the culture.
Yeah, man. Not just the audience. The audience is us. You know, we use this music therapeutically too to get through moments. So thank you.
Oh yeah, that's what's great. That's what hits me with my medium. It's I do it because I want to do it, and it's just a amazing added bonus for the audience that makes it possible. So
who could tell you shit, Matt?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Only myself.
Exactly.
So,
let's talk. You the boss.
Talk. Yo, now let's hit. Let's talk. As you mentioned, as we said, it was quite the road to get this album created. But thank the good Lord and your guys' drive for making it possible. So let's talk. Before we hit track by track, as a whole, not mentioned already, how do you feel about the album as a whole after the years putting into this? Now you're promoting it. Now you're starting to perform. I saw last week on Thursday, you guys had your first performance, you know, getting out the rust, but just happy to be in front of an audience and having more chances to be in front of an audience. But as a whole, how do you guys just feel about your new album?
You could go. You could go.
I love the album. I love the album. Like, the thing is for me and A, we've had this album for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of like maybe a few songs, we've had this album for so long. Like we've been like we've been holding on to this album, trying to figure out, should we drop it now? All right, let's wait till COVID's over. Nah, COVID's not about to be over. Let's drop it now. Nah, we can't drop it like this. We got to do it like you got to do this rollout. I'm dying for people to hear this. Like for me, I think this is one of the best projects we've ever worked on. You know what I mean? Like, I love this album. I hear it and it's therapeutic for me. Like, even talking to you, I'm like, I had to. That's a song on the project. It still relates to real life. I always knew we would get here. You know what I mean? Like, Coldest Nights, we dealt with that. All of those things are real stories, real things that we overcame, you know, real journal entries. And I'm excited for people to hear it, man. Y'all gonna love it. And if y'all don't got it, you sleeping.
Yeah. The way I really feel about the album, man, like it's for all the people that walk up the stairs. It's for all the people that had the doors closed on them anywhere, and you had to make shit happen on your own. This album is for you. This album is the I had to. This is when you had to believe for yourself with the always new. And this is for the nights that didn't always seem like they was gonna end. Those coldest nights, and those stories are literally the stories of being PAs, being this, taking a chance and not traditionally saying, I want to be this, this, and this. That's the safe route, but saying I'm betting on me this way. And your parents might, you know, think that you're fucking going crazy and be on your back every day. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's what Let's Talk is about. I can't talk about it. I'll show you and you'll see that I was right the whole time. Let's Talk, out now.
Let's talk. Let's hit that. Let's hit each track one by one. We start with 30 for 30. We have a music video to go along with it. We have, I believe it's the, you know, I know it was Malcolm X, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For a second, I thought it was Farrakhan, but just making sure.
A lot of people are not going to get the same experience on streaming. Like, if you want the real experience of the project, you got to get it on exclusive. If not, then, you know, you won't be able to experience those the same way that you heard the project exclusively.
I see. Okay, cool. So for those,
Matt.
Yeah.
Pardon my interruption.
Oh, so yours is both our shows. Feel free.
Ursula Burns is a woman, one of the most successful Black women in the world. And she said, she had a famous quote. I'm gonna paraphrase it because I don't know the quote specifically. But she was saying that the only reason why people know my name is because when I walked in the room, I told them. Right? And I don't want people to like just kind of brush past some of the things that me and A do, right? Those hats on that table, we own that company. This project that the company is releasing, Let's Talk under that, we own that company. You know what I mean? Like, we're wearing multiple hats. We're doing things that we're assuming responsibilities that other artists don't have to. We don't have to do that. You know what I mean? We can just wear artist hats and decide to partner with another company.
Yeah.
We could decide to partner with a company for clothing. We could decide to partner with a label. We could decide to partner with a production company. But we decided to start those and build those on our own. You know what I mean? And I just want to say that because if I don't share that, no one's going to tell that story for us.
I love that. I respect it. And yeah, let the message be heard. It's your brand. It's the company. No one owns it. You're your own boss. You know what you're here for, and you keep pushing for it because it's the right thing to do. So that's what brings me as a fan. You know, you're not boiled down. You're not going to be cynical and you turn into another Prince reference as the artist formerly known as Prince. You don't have to deal with something like that because it's your guys with that. You have anything else to add with that, Alex?
No, I think he hit the nail on the head, bro. Let's talk.
Let's talk indeed.
Out now.
Yes, sir. At thecompanyDNA.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
So, talk to me about 30 for 30. Very, like I said, we start with Malcolm X. We have you guys talking in it for a hot second, especially hear Alex saying "turn it up." Brings me back whenever you hear Jay-Z says that on a lot of his tracks and stuff like that. But talk to me about that. Why is that your opening track? What's the special meaning behind it? Why is it so aggressive and like in a good way?
To be honest with you, that track came at the right time in the wrong way, in the sense of that track came out of literally getting a phone call in the middle of the night, like, yo, you want to go to the studio right now? We only have 2 hours to do it. It's a free session. Can you? I'm like, I haven't even heard the beat yet. Yo, I'm outside. Derek pulls up. He's with this producer. His name is Young Forte. We met him in somebody's living room maybe a year ago. We were supposed to work on a project for somebody else. And he's like, yo.
What's the name? Young Forte.
I'm going to the studio tonight, but I only got it for 2 hours. They owe me some studio time. We pull up, super sketchy. This guy comes, and we're just thinking he's a dude outside smoking weed. He's not talking to us or anything. And then he turns, he's like, "Yeah, here for the session?" We're like, yeah. we go inside and
facts though.
But we go inside, and for the first 5 minutes is weird as fuck. Like, yo, he's like, yo, do y'all know how to plug the mic? And I'm like, nigga, you're the engineer. You're supposed to know that, right? But when he goes in, mind you, we only have 2 hours to get this song mixed and recorded.
Oh, fuck. So you only had like one take, right?
Beat. We've never heard the beat before. You know, songs sometimes for us could take weeks, months, years. Be honest. The pressure being on my back, being on our backs, I think brought out one of our best back and forth joints, because we haven't been under pressure like that. We had 1 hour to record that song, 1 hour to mix it. And that's how you got 30 for 30. And that's where you hear the aggressiveness and the energy. It's like, come on, let's go. You only got this sense of urgency. That's why you hear that, you know, that's a lot of that's not written. A lot of that is literally just feeling, y'all don't got no more. Hop on. Boom. That's the first time we ever done that.
Man, I love that. You always hear of these great stories of all songs throughout that they only, whether they did it in one take. I heard "Lose Yourself," only the Eminem's first 3 verses all on the first take. Mm-hmm. And like, it's like similar stuff like that. You just have to, it's that opportunity that comes. You always got to be ready, be there, be square. Luck is when preparation and timing meet at the same time, and just shows how talented you guys are.
Thank you, man.
Talk to me about "Come Outside." We mentioned it before in the show. It seems that was quite a road to make that track possible. Talk to me about "Come Outside."
Come Outside was interesting. Come Outside was really interesting. I remember I actually was about to leave town maybe like in like a day or two. Because I've been going back and forth to Houston pretty frequently during the quarantine. And
that's why he said that line in 30 for 30.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yes, I went back and forth to Houston pretty frequently. So I was getting ready to go back to Houston. And, you know, anytime like we're not about to be together for a little bit, we got to regroup. So we at A's house, we trying to regroup. And after that, we just started playing some beats. And how long did that song take? Maybe like 30 minutes. Like it was like, yo, I got this beat. Literally. Literally like 30 minutes.
I think I already laid it, and then I played it for him. Like I probably laid it right before you came. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I just heard it, and it just is like,
yeah. You was rapping your verse, and then you was like, you was rapping it to me. I'm like, nigga, just go record it. Like, go record it. So as he's recording it, I'm like, writing my stuff. I'm like, as soon as he's done, I'm like, I'm ready. I got my shit. Let's go. And
it's crazy because records don't happen like that, bro. They don't. Like those are like, there's moments in music. Drizzy Drake said this one time. He was like, the magic doesn't always happen every night, and people come in the studio with this expectation that the magic happens every night. It doesn't happen every night, but when that motherfucking trick happens,
Get ready.
It's amazing to be there.
Facts.
Yeah, like when he once also said, it's not about who did it first, it's about who did it right. So
And I think
got
Come
it,
Outside
right.
was because we just had, it was very similar to 30 for 30. We just had fun. It was fun. We've never made a song like Come Outside before. You know what I mean?
Most
There's no
important.
song in our catalog right now that sounds like Come Outside. You know, so it was just fun. We wasn't overthinking it. We wasn't trying to bar you off, even though it had bars in it, but it was effortless. It was fun.
Getting back to that natural talk, and it's just letting it flow together. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this track, I happen to really like because no one really does these anymore. Skits. Not many people do skits anymore. Rap, Eminem was popular with it. Kanye, early Kanye was great with the skits, but we don't see him anymore. You guys did it. And I know you guys also did a skit on your first album, but why did you put this skit of you at the press conference? It's pretty funny. You had those voice actresses in. Talk to me about the skit and why did you put a skit when it's not really that much of a thing anymore as a whole in the community?
The funny thing is, we work in production. We came from radio. We used to literally have a radio show on a network that spanned over 3 states. We
really?
Yo, what's going on? It's Alex King and Derek. We here with the pregame on WHBC 96.3 H33 radio. Like that's how we came
remember the number.
We tried every avenue to get on, man. We used to go on that radio show and just play our music, So we tried every
facts,
and we'll continue to do so. But that showed us the importance of having entertainment just outside your music. Just like in your show, you got to have some banter. People don't want to hear things continue. Like, give me a minute to digest my food before you put another plate down on the table. And skits are a good way to give me that breather after an aggressive song like that. I don't respond to no comments. Just stop doing the comments. The time to be typing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me a minute to digest and get into Bluefaces, like, which is a completely different vibe. But that press conference makes it feels like it's so natural to flow in. And a lot of those weren't voice actresses. Those were actual people who work in media.
Oh, no way.
That's Ty Perkins from Hot 97. She's an on-air host of Hot 97.
All right.
Myers, she was an on-air host of DSR Radio. I might be mispronouncing the name of that radio station. Has interviews with many people, and she's worked for Sus One. Nia Hunt, like, these are actual people. Those are actual reporters. So we went that hard to be detailed of like real reporters at a press conference.
That's saying something, man. It's all about that quality over quantity, that extra step.
And I think the skits outside of the music ties the story together.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Those questions that they're asking tells you a piece of our story. Right? And I don't want to give it away, but when you hear some of those questions, it lets you know what people want to know, right? And it lets you know, like, oh, okay, if she's asking why it took so long, well, when was their next project? Maybe I should go listen to that.
Look at that. And it's a great skit to actually listen to. I won't lie. Most of those are skippable, but not this one. I got a kick out of it.
That's love.
And yeah, man, no problem. And it's just, you guys went straight to work, and that's what you were for. Mm-hmm. So, as I mentioned, this is my second favorite track off the album. With this, I love that snare beat coming in, nice flow. Bluefaces. Talk to me about Bluefaces. And also, Bluefaces is played in the intro to the show, so we got a little snippet of it. Talk to me more about Bluefaces, though.
Bluefaces, man. Woo! The Derek actually. No. I was about to say you penned that and then brought that to the table. We made that together.
At your crib at first.
In my mom's house, actually. A kid named Darwin Bryce. I want to give Darwin his flowers. He called us up.
Strand. He an A&R Strand.
He's an A&R, and he we have our own label, Strand Worldwide. We have multiple artists on that, and he A&Rs and he brings certain things to the table. And
look at that.
He called us up one day. And he was like,
just for anyone who doesn't know what A&R is listening to it, can you just explain that really quick?
I'm gonna let D explain it.
A&R is pretty the definition changes now that we're in 2021 in music. Mm-hmm. But A&R is kind of an extension of a manager on a record label.
Mhm.
They pretty much put the pieces together for artists. They help you choose your beats. They help you license your beats. They help you get connected with other artists. They pretty much lead the career from the label perspective for artists.
Look at that. All right, cool, cool.
So when he came in, you know, and this is not something that was just appointed. He just stepped into the role and stepped into it well. Without him on the ground, a lot of Focus video wouldn't have been possible. And just to say, so with that record in particular, he called us up one day like, yo, y'all not serious about music. And we like, what you mean? Y'all not serious about music. Put out something today. That's what he said. So he said, I'll be at your house. He came all the way from Brooklyn. He came to Queens. I was staying at my mom's house at the time.
Yeah,
And
that was the same day.
yeah,
Wow.
and he said, yo, put out something right now. And he pulls up the ZZ beat, you know, ZZ with Kodak.
Yep.
And yeah, so he puts that up. He said, look, y'all got 10 minutes to write this record. We recorded the record, and because we were in such urgency to put it out, we didn't even mix it. We just put it out. But another record played right after. YouTube has this thing where it just plays another song randomly after. And it played the Bluefaces beat. And I'm not really, you know, we try to stay away from YouTube beats, but this beat just sounded so different, man.
Yeah.
Like it had a soulful, like jazzy tone to
Yeah,
it.
that's what I like about it.
With the snare cuts, with the 808s. And we heard it and we start going back and forth. That was all it was. We have those original voice notes too, like when it's just hums. And we sat on it for a long time. We sat on it for months. And we're on a bus ride and he was like, yo, I laid that hook down, and he plays it for me. We're on a bus ride to DC going to American University.
Mm-hmm.
They have a whole,
why we even was going to American though. Like,
we were going to American because they have a state-of-the-art studio. I'm talking about full studio rooms, choir rooms, multiple this and that. Like if you ever see old visuals of us, we record a lot of the project in a really like high-end studio that the biggest artists in the world record at.
Like
we go there.
I think Link was there the week before we was there, or like a couple days before we was there.
Yeah.
So that's how nice you guys are. You are recording your music where the best record theirs.
Exactly. And that's where you hear that sound cut through. But you got to thank the Derek for even bringing that. I forgot all about that record, but he came back to the table and pieced the pieces and the freestyles together that we were laying down that night and came back with a really good undercut hook. And it built from there. And by the time we landed, my verse was ready by the time we were in DC. And we just went in there and we had a bunch of people in the room and Bryce and Tony Drifton and what's homie's name, the producer? Cody and just so many people in the room to be like, yo, that's hot, that's hot. And we pieced that record together. And I think that was a collaborative record. Not to say anybody wrote on it, but people definitely put their energy in to let us know like, yo, this is it.
Man, look at that. You guys really know how to make tracks when push comes to shove. I mean, that's great for the producer. He said, just make it, just prove it. And you got Matt Brown's second favorite track from it. So let's hit it. So now what transitioning, and the song literally transitions into the next one. And as you mentioned, it was your first single before COVID happened, but yet it's this song it's just a bop. It really is. And talk about a great music video with your specific the company look. Why don't we hit on Focus with just the catchy tune? Just Focus. I mean, I don't want to embarrass because I can't sing, but you know.
No. I think you had it. How'd it go?
It goes,
how'd it go?
Focus on the focus. I'm sorry, hey. I can't remember the exact lyric at the moment, but you know that flow.
Yeah.
You go within, you know it. And stuff like that. But this song, and this is the very first song that is heard in the cold open for the show, is Focus, both Alex's first verse and then Famo's first verse. Talk to me about Focus. Just hit me that bop. I mean, that's a song where you could dance. You could dance with shorties. You could just kick back in the summer. You can have a beer. This is really high. All the tracks are high quality, but this one is He's a real special one, I think. But talk to me about Focus.
You wanna go?
No. I've been chatting, bro. I might need to grab a glass of water. You got it.
Focus is like, it holds a special place in our hearts too. Like, that's one of our favorite songs right now, and we're gonna keep pushing that until it pushes through the cracks.
Yeah.
But making
So
that,
catchy.
making that song, that's the question, right? Like, that's just the process of making it. Making that song was really special because I think I was already on the way to Alex's house, and as I was on the way, I actually was with Alex's brother, and all day Alex was just, there's moments where you catch, as an artist, you catch strides, right? And if people don't know, like, a stride is just a zone where you're just, a creative zone where you're just making music, or if you're a musician, or if you're whoever, whatever kind of creative you are, where you're just creating your art back to back to back to back to back, and as creatives, you gotta cherish those moments because good shit comes out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Alex had caught a stride and was just sending me like tunes all day. But Focus actually was called Loading, and I remember seeing that Loading pop up. I'm playing it. I'm actually on the J train. I'm like, yeah, this is the one. This is the one. I don't remember, like, I was like,
You didn't say that was the one. You said Miss My Exit was the one.
Really?
Miss My that I just missed my exit. That it was a Houston inspired song.
Okay. But no, though. Like, I felt like I told you should keep Miss My Exit.
Yeah.
And I felt like Loading, I was like, yeah, I'm getting on this. So the first thing that we did when I got to A's crib was we worked on that song. I probably got there like maybe 10, and we was working on that song till 6 a.m. Literally working on that song
right.
6 a.m. Like, recording it over and over, ad-libs, layers, all of that, just making sure that it was tight. But it was, once we left with that song, I knew it was it. Nobody I played that song for ever told me like
it was bad.
It was bad.
I'm confident we all will in this world be bumping Focus before we know it.
Yeah.
What a great track, guys. I commend you guys on that one, especially. And then the video itself, you guys just hanging out at the party and mingling. Anything on that? That looked like a fun video to shoot. I saw you were showing some behind the scenes videos with that too this week or this past week.
It showed me that we're literally the next Steven Spielberg's, man. Because just coming from production and writing everything down, it came out how it was in our heads, bro. Yeah. And that's a credit. That's a credit to Tukes Productions. That's a credit to everybody that even showed up and showed love. Like, all of that stuff was detailed exactly like that, down to the storyboard that was cartooned for that whole speed dating scene that happened. Like, how everything looked. Half of that video was shot in my house.
Is it really? Wow, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's not a bar. We created that, and then the other spot was just an Airbnb with a table. But the lens tells the audience what you want it to. We made that look like we were in like a bar, or just girls in an art space smoking hookah. That's my house. We built those sets.
And that's the power. That's why we that's the power of illusions, man. Nothing but. So, gotta go on my favorite track right now. The 6th track on this is Coldest Nights. I personally love it. I love that style of hip hop. Is that very slow night driving type of feel. You got the guitar in the background. You're not only spitting, but you also have, I think it's Famo with the I'm in my zone now. They didn't be willing to stop.
That's actually Jazz Brown. That's actually Jazz Brown on that like bridge. And
shouts to Jazz Brown then, fellow Brown.
It's crazy. He brought that to us.
Yeah.
Oh, he's great, man. He's really great.
He brought that to us. He's a producer. He's an artist.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He brought that to us, and
he A&R'd that record.
Yeah, definitely.
What's crazy about that record? I'm sorry, I just want to interject. He wanted to take that part off. That part was actually on all the hooks, and the only agreement we could have with him was like, all right, can we just keep it right here for the bridge? And he's like, yo, I hate it. But months later, after you heard it again and it was fully like mixed and everything, it's like, yo, that shit's fire.
It is fire. First of all, yeah, I didn't mean to make the mistake. I just was trying to figure out who that was for a second. But shouts
No,
to
he just wanted it off. So we was like, we didn't tell him his name's not on it, but he's in the credits.
all right, word. Well, shouts to Jazz Brown. If you're watching at this point, man, you got a great voice. Keep at it, seriously. And then you guys, great. Just a song about I love the application line especially, and just trying to get through this grind. I do know Famous saying, if you don't want to deal with what I deal with, I think a lot of people understand, like, no one wants to go through struggles like that. I think it's a really well produced show with a great story in it too.
Thank
You about to say something, Alex?
No, I was gonna say I'm gonna send this to Jazz. He needs to hear that right now. Like, I think that would boost him up.
It was great from one Brown to another.
To another.
So another one. We talked about I had to also mention in earlier in this show. Talk to me. There seemed to be a really deep message behind it, especially in the lyrics. Talk to me about I Had To.
Shoot. I had to. My little brother actually produced that.
Bring him in. Is he there?
Yeah, but he's outside. Yo, my king. Pull up.
Bring him here. He actually produced the last two songs on the album. 18 years old.
He 18 years old, my little brother.
Yo, what's going on, man? Welcome to Productive Conversations Podcast. My name is Matt Brown.
Thank you. My name is McKean Darius.
Nice to meet you, McKean.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
How are we doing, man? Yo.
He produced songs, yeah.
Yo, McKean, thanks for hopping on here. I just want to say congratulations to you on having your two produced tracks on a really great album for the company. Can you just talk to me about I Had To in the production process and what's it like collaborating with the company?
This is my brother, so
let me take the virtual background off. Hold on.
It's really normal to me. I know Alex, my mother knows Alex, so he's like family to me as well. So I don't really feel any difference. And just working on the song was like we heard a sample, and then me and him just was like, whoa, we looked at each other like, okay. So just put it together, and then that's just how it came.
Oh man,
but this kid is technical, man. Like, I keep telling you, he's the next hottest producer in New York City. If you're an artist and you want to be with premium beats only, man, Makeen is different, man. When I say I seen this kid come up from terrible beats to now having heat, like he be sending me stuff and everything is hot to the point I can't even listen to everything. I'm like, I'm still on this one. But I think this kid right here is the future. He has two of the best things. Everybody's hitting me up about I Had To. Like, yo, that's the hottest track on the joint. Yeah. And it's just a testament to him, man. Since 12 years old, when he came to that first show that we talked about earlier in the interview, where the lady quit her job, and he was there in the front row. I have a video of him just there. And I remember he always wanted to be around us. And not to say we used to play him or anything. We was like, yo, you got to get better. And he put the work in, bro. He's a classically trained pianist. Hands down, was played everywhere. So he put the work in, bro, and just stayed down.
Yo, look at that, man.
He's a trained pianist. He plays the guitar. He plays the drums. He's a full musician.
Because we used to play. We'd be like, yo, get that shit out of here.
Well, that's why we appreciate genuine musicians to get that. Of course, technology is great, creating beats and everything. But if you actually, play the instruments and actually hear it out, just adds to the experience, man. And congratulations on what you did. And is there anything else you want to say that we could add to this? And whether it's with I Had To or Always Knew, or what's next for you?
What's next for me?
Yeah.
Connecting with artists and just building my platform as a producer, to like just get that respect, and that recognition.
Look at that. And where can we find your music, and where could artists reach out to you?
You can look me up on Instagram officially, McKean. That's OFFICALLY, McKean, MCKEAN. Yeah, you'll find me on Instagram.
All right.
We're gonna shorten that soon, so I'll send you a new one.
Look at that. Well, congratulations, McKean. We're definitely on the lookout for you, and just Thank you for adding to such a great track, man. Or
Thank
2
you.
tracks, I should say.
Yeah.
Excited to see what you have for the future.
I don't know what it is though. There's a certain energy in my mother's house. That's why we keep going back. I feel like our best records be happening in my mom's house, like in that bedroom. We did Waves in the Water from back in the day in there. And it's not like it's anything lavish. Like we literally be sitting on the steps, boom, boom, but it's an energy in there. Now I can't explain it. It's an energy in there for like in terms of storytelling records.
I feel like the first like a Little Taste of Success, we did a lot of that at my mom's crib.
Yeah.
And then Let's Talk, we did a lot of that at your mom's crib.
We wrote a lot of A Little Taste of Success at your mother's house, but I think we went to Kim's to record that whole album.
Yeah.
Look
a lot of, huh?
No, I was just saying, look at that.
That's why we gotta give him houses.
Yeah.
We gotta give him houses.
A lot of that is a testament also to after years and years of work, we started learning to be our own engineers, be our own recorders, be our own studios. Like, just to show you, like, quarantine was a big moment for us essentially because even if you look, we couldn't go out. Everything was closed down. We had to build our own. We built our own studios. Like,
look at that.
Yeah.
And you have this, I don't know the exact term, but I know to protect the sound and making it the acoustics and stuff, that foam in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So yeah, a lot of the project was done here, and I think that's what we're most proud about. Let's Talk. We did this. I didn't have to wait for anybody. We did it.
You earned it. You made it. You made lemons out of lemonade, and I think Migos also would start in Quavo's mom's crib. So it's where you feel most comfortable to get your artistry.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like being in places where we're at home, it just puts you in that comfortable element automatically. You're in a place where you essentially sleep, eat, drink, shit, all that. Like, if you're not comfortable here, I don't know.
But it also can be very dangerous for artists too. It can be very detrimental to recording your own space if you don't have the discipline, ambition, or prowess to be like, yo, let me get up and record. Because you can sit right there and watch Rick and Morty all day, and that's your day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can only gain so much unless you're deciding to be a film critic. Yeah. And that's how I felt the same way. You see, I designed this studio with what I have and create a vibe with that and investing in the equipment thanks to our stimulus checks. And to be honest, man, but using it, the country wants us to use it for a betterment, and I did. And that's what I have for the show, and that's where we come together. Actually buying a Zoom account, an official one, so we could do multiple interviews like this. And it's just putting your money for right things. And
that's the best you can make is in yourself. The investment is invest me.
Let me ask you a question, Matt.
Yes.
Can I give you a new nickname? Can it be Stimmy Neutron or
Stimmy Neutron?
Stimmy Neutron or Stim Tebow?
That's a tough one. I'm gonna go Stimmy Neutron.
Yeah,
rolls off the tongue a little bit.
Yeah, that's fire, right?
Yes, sir.
That might have to be you don't have to change your Instagram handle, but like where you could put your name. You might have to do Stimmy Neutron.
Hey man, whatever I have to add to the culture.
He used this. A lot of people aren't doing that. They went and used their stimulus checks to buy crab legs.
Yeah, and video games.
He invested. Look at this studio, bro. That's fire.
Yeah, man. I got this. Got the arm, and I could just do a quick turnaround. I'm getting the second one. The second one's coming in tomorrow. So
fire.
Just trying to show
you did the right thing with the city, bro. You did the right thing for real.
Being surrounded everyone, all men and women who inspire me from sports and entertainment and the podcasting and radio sphere. I mean, and it's just like, it's just the way to create my own brand. Not a lot of people have Marvelous Miss Maisel and the cast of Atlanta, 2 huge influential shows with Jago on top. And we have Kobe and Shaq and Ken Griffey with Lauren Michaels on the corner. Will Ferrell. It's just everything I like that makes me.
You have the company up there?
I do need to add to that.
We got to get you a Let's Talk vinyl. It's cool. It's out for. We got you.
Yo,
we're
please.
We'll get you a poster.
Please. I will put the company right here. I gotta find out. This is where I'll put it. I can move this wheel on stool and I'll put it under my main man, Jimmy Stewart.
Okay.
The American hero. You guys know Jimmy Stewart, the great actor. Who I will put it right under here. And yes, please send me a poster or a sticker. I'll put it right next to me.
Got you, man.
Because the reason why especially is because of the energy you bring. The like I said, I've been a fan even before the show, and I just like being surrounded by people who know their worth, know their talent, and are here to be genuine about it. I mean, you guys were told by your A&R to make a track now, and it's a genuinely good one. So I want that to be surrounded by the other people. And this is not a way to brown nose or to kiss that. It's because I'm just a genuine fan of your guys and your work. And I know a lot of us will be bumping the company as a whole before we know it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I echo those.
Much love. And just the last track to officially go over, Always Knew, which is played at the end of this podcast as well. Talk to me. How does this track wrap everything up? Any special meanings behind it? Talk to me about ending off on a high note with Always Knew, excuse me.
It's the statement. You got to the end and you're like, yo, this album is amazing. Like, how'd they know? We always knew.
Yeah.
We always knew. We was just waiting for y'all to realize. Let's talk.
It's simple as that, man. Let's talk indeed. You have anything else to add with that, Famo?
Yeah. I'm not gonna make it long-winded, but just piggybacking off of what I said earlier in terms of we have to say who we are, say our own praises in order for other people to say them. Like, we always knew. We took a couple years just to get our shit in order in order for us to be at this moment. So hell yeah, we're not humble. We're not trying to be humble in this moment. We knew that shit. We know this shit is good.
And that's how you know. You I mean, like, no pun intended with that, but they say no cry for the artist, no cry from the artist, no cry from the audience. If the artist is having fun, the audience will have fun. And I think you really proved that here and knowing your worth. And while we have seen plenty of people go in endeavors for entertainment, whether you're trying to be an up-and-coming filmmaker, a musician, a podcaster, if you're into OnlyFans,
you have an OnlyFans account?
Not me, not yet. Maybe if the people want it. I don't know, but the point I'm making is anyone could create content and anyone could try their best to be a successful professional with it. I think there's so many people, whether they just lose that strive, whether they don't want to stay consistent, whether they don't realize what work has to go into it, what money has to be spent to actually make you stick out. That's why, again, and it's a common theme. It's not for everyone, but it's our place to move forward with this and show our worth. You always knew that you were going to be great performers. I always knew that I was going to be a great storyteller, and the medium to do that was through podcasting. So,
and that's the reason why you invested in yourself, because you knew that if you invested in this, what would come out? We knew if we invested in us, if we put time in us, what would come out? That's what that song is. That's what that sums up. That's why it sums up the whole album. We knew. And we want to put that confidence in everybody. Know how good you are. Know how valuable you are. You know what I mean? And just do the work.
Yes. And we keep that message going on after this podcast, throughout our future and every day. Wow, I love you guys. I really do. So, as we're almost at an hour and a half. We've really been pushing. It's been such a great time. I knew this would work out. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. That, again, that's how you know. So, my final question regarding the company before we do one last thing that's a productive conversations tradition. Talk to me about what's next. Talk to me. You have any shows coming up now that we are seeing more, as more people get vaccinated and more things are opening up? I'm assuming and hoping that we have more opportunities to see you guys perform and promote this album. And is there another album in the works? What's going on? What's next for the company?
We're gonna be hitting you with a lot of music,
Yeah.
a lot of quality videos. It's the same thing over again. It doesn't stop. Let's talk. You know, we put 9 out, but we got 9 million to release. And I think we're gonna go back to being consistent, what we know, and continue to take the stairs. And yeah, it doesn't stop. Let's Talk is not the name of an album. Let's Talk is the way that we're living our lives.
It's a movement.
Mm-hmm.
Not even just a movement, it's a mantra. I say it to myself when I'm ready to put an excuse out there. Let's talk. And this is a way of life, and this won't stop.
Oh,
but also look out for Strand Clothing. That's gonna be our next collab. Strand Productions. We're shooting a lot of content. And you know, we're also consulting and helping a lot of artists, man. Get your artistry right, get your packages right, get everything right.
Strand Worldwide. Hit up Darwin.
We're doing consulting though. We're not signing anyone. You know, we have the artists we need, but we'll help you out for a small fee.
Look at that, man. Yeah, and where can we go to get that help if we want to reach out for that?
StrandWorldwide.com, Strand Worldwide on Instagram, Strand Clothing, Strand Productions, Strand. You gotta say it or people ain't gonna say it for you. Strand, the company. You know what I mean? We stand on those things, yo. Let's talk.
Yes. And where'd you get the name Strand Worldwide?
This double helix behind me is a DNA.
Oh,
it all coincides. DNA strand.
It's a DNA strand.
Look at that. What brings us together and gives you life, literally and figuratively. Oh man, this has been a real pleasure. So one of the things before we say goodbye, before we make one more plug, and our great tradition on the Productive Conversations podcast is we end each show with for first timers with the Proust Questionnaire, which is a set of 10 questions traditionally from inside the actor studio. They are they're not rapid fire, but they're short questions that are pretty deep. And basically, I'll start with the first question. We'll start with Alex, then Famo answers, then we'll start with Famo, then Alex. And I'm really, really intrigued to figure out and learn how you'll answer these questions. So you guys ready to answer the Proust Questionnaire?
Yeah, so I just want to make sure that we're doing this right. So it's Alex, then me, then like we're going like that?
Exactly, yeah. And I'll lead the way with that too, just in case.
Okay.
So our first question, and we'll start with Alex on this one. What is your favorite word?
Imperative.
Imperative. Why is imperative?
It gives a sense of importance. I just like the word. You could say important, but when you say imperative, it's like, yo, he has a vocabulary.
It's simple as that. We have to add to our purses with better vocabulary. What's your favorite word, Famo?
My favorite word? At the moment, respectfully. At the moment, my favorite word is respectfully, and it just clears the air for any disrespect, allows you to say how you feel and be transparent without anybody feeling the type of way, or feeling like what you're saying is coming out of space of malice.
That's what I'm saying. Hear that? So, Famo, we'll start with you. With what's your least favorite word?
My least favorite word is no.
That's what I like. I mean, that's my least favorite word.
Thanks.
What about you, Alex? What's your least favorite word?
Hands down, can't or broke.
No such thing.
Thanks, though.
Mm-hmm. So, Alex, we'll start with you on this one. And for both of you, I just want to say this is not a sexual question. I mean, if you want to answer it that way, feel free. It has been said before. But my question, you will start with Alex and then Famo. What turns you on in this world?
Well, a big booty freak. Now let's start. I don't know, man. I have this thing where, and I don't know if there's something mentally wrong with me, not trying to make fun or light of the subject, where I can see the crowd even though I'm not there. Like it almost feels like it's meant for me. Like I can hear them. If I'm in my room, I still feel like a little kid. I jump on my bed and I perform in front of an audience of 50,000 people every night, and they want an encore. That it can't turn off. No matter how long I try to get away from it, I try to focus on something else because this isn't working out. I still hear them screaming.
Man, that's real deep. That just shows what you're
doing.
Cut
what you're
that
right for. There. That's the clip. No, it's not.
Yeah, making my life easier with that perfect ending there. But no, I hear that, man. It's what you want to do. It's your purpose almost.
Now, all jokes aside, that's true. And I don't know. I used to think there was something wrong with me because I'm like, I can spend hours in the Derby scene. I can spend hours just staring at this wall, but it's not a wall to me. Like I see an audience and I can like talk to them and they'll talk back. And it's like, it's almost like I'm seeing a premonition of what's supposed to happen. And I just have to get there for this thing to go away. And I don't want it to go away, but I just want it to stop being so fucking loud.
Yeah. Something always worth chasing. Famo, what turns you on in this world?
Getting to the finish line, like starting something and
1 minute, man.
starting something and actually getting to the finish line for it.
Yeah.
Like when you actually finish something that you start, I feel like that's a win. Whether it's dropping an album, whether it's finishing a document, whether it's finishing a song, you know what I mean? Like getting to the finish line every time for me, like it's exhilarating. I feel like it's like it deserves some sort of celebration, even if it is a small celebration, even if it is like, I bet we gonna get some dinner tonight. You know what I'm saying? We just finished this album, just finished this song, let's get some dinner tonight. That's lit for me because that just represents accomplishments and success, one step forward.
Yeah, what really talk about getting to the finish line and really appreciating that. Honestly, this whole pandemic really taught me that how important it is to get to the finish line because we're not everyone's promised a finish line, and obviously we know what's going on with the pandemic. I don't have to rehash that, but life's delicate now, and it's as delicate as ever. So that's why you have to value getting to the finish line because not everyone can, and once you get there, don't take it for granted.
I had to learn how to get to the finish line. Like there's a lot of times that I would start things and don't know how to finish them. I had to learn how to get to the finish line. Mm-hmm. Getting to the finish line is a skill.
Yeah, it really is. Especially that in sports too. Speaking of that, Knicks won. Now we're above 500 again.
They beat the Pistons. They got a hard schedule. They got a hard schedule after this week. They got to play the Bucks. They got to play everybody. The Spurs washed them last night. They played the Pistons.
Yo, just random. Knicks making the playoffs, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, if I have no money on it.
No. I'd say yes.
We'll dictate it that way.
Yes, if they can stay above 6, because at 6, they have a new thing that turns into, if you're below 6, you play in a tournament.
Yeah, the play-in tournament.
Oh, they doing that again?
That's fire. So you basically get a pre-playoffs.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's like a wild card. They got that for football. It's like wild cards for football.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the the technically 10 teams make it, but as Alex said, the last 4 have to play in to get those last 2 spots. So I'm so hyped for the Knicks. I talk about it all the time with this podcast. Julius Randle really leading us. Who would have thought he actually was worth that big free agent signing when we couldn't get KD and Kyrie. And Emmanuel quickly, even though he got snubbed from the futures game, that's our point guard, I think, for a long time. Once he gets to start finally, and shouts to Coach Thibs.
I think nothing against quickly. I think D Rose needs to be in that starting position. I understand why they want him to lead the second line, but D Rose, since he's come on the team,
he's been that first.
You see what's happening.
Yeah, that veteran presence is such a big deal, and I don't know the exact record since he hopped on, but it has to be like something like
Nuts.
I would think
I
like
think they're gonna
7 and 3.
transition him into that starting lineup. I feel like he just got to the team.
Yeah, he's only 19 years old too, so he's got to just to get that experience. But I think if he keeps that shot going, especially, and he's literally so quick, I think it's gonna be fun. He could be like our CP3 or something. And do you think Andre Drummond's coming? There's been rumors that the Knicks are the front runner.
I don't think we need him. I think they need Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh, that'd be so sweet. The only thing I wondered if Cat was.
I don't think we need any of those guys, and that's where we fuck up every time. We put all of our chips on something that's working. We put all of our chips on one superstar, on a Melo.
Enough.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have enough right now. These niggas are 19 years old, 20 years old.
Right.
You have a good team. You can build you don't need a superstar. You need 5 good guys. You have a superstar, Julius Randle, but he distributes as if he's just a regular guy like a Jimmy Butler. He'll pass. And that's where we fuck up. We want to put the thing that's working on one guy. And now you're here he's passing to somebody who's shooting under 20%. You have something that's working, ride with that. Don't try to leverage that to something that didn't work somewhere else already. Karl Anthony Towns already plays around a bunch of bad players and can't do anything with them.
Yeah, I've always wondered, would he leave Minnesota after I know Karl Anthony Towns has had a hell of a year with losing so many family members. And even though the T-Wolves, let's be real, they're a pretty shit basketball team, but the whole Minnesota community really been vibe for him. I just don't think he would leave that after the emotional year he's had. So I also agree with Alex. Just wait for Mitch Robinson to come back. I mean, he was one of the few bright spots from last season. And, once he comes back from that injury, we could be set.
You know what's crazy, bro? I don't think we need him back either.
Really? So you trust with
those guys are good, but
the guy
what are you gonna do?
That stepped up in his position now is so much better.
So
Noel is crazy nice.
Noel. Wait, listen. What are you gonna do as the Knicks in the East when you have to play the Nets and you see James Harden, Kyrie, KD? When you have to play the Wizards and you see Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook? When you play Philly and it's Joel Embiid,
he's gonna be MVP.
The Wizards aren't doing good, bro.
The Wizards are like 4th.
No, they're not.
Russ has been having another insane season again. But
Bradley Beal's been having an insane season.
Yeah, after losing John Wall too, and
they're not.
I know they're not. They're having a terrible year.
They're not. They've been on a streak though. I know that for sure.
A streak from what?
Like they won like the last 5 of like.
Bradley Beal won't be there for long, bro.
You think he's getting? Do you think he goes to like a ring chase? Is he going to be ring chasing, going to a Bucks, Sixers?
He said he's not. He said he's not. I don't know.
They don't want him to leave. He's literally I think Bradley Beal might be the best ball player in the league right now.
Staying loyal to Washington. We always appreciate anyone who stays loyal to a team.
Who's better than Bradley Beal right now this year?
Joel Embiid.
What about what about James Harden? James Harden has been going off since he's gone to Brooklyn.
They're saying a lot of people are trying to put an argument out that James Harden after the last game should be MVP, like as what he's doing right now. He's carrying the Nets.
Yeah, with KD out, Kyrie playing when he feels like it, even though he had a good game last night. But James Harden, that he's low-key making that his team already.
Kyrie was like, yo, you're the point guard. We knew that.
But yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a Nets-Lakers final. I think it'll be Nets-Lakers, but the Jazz are insane right now too.
Don't forget about those Sixers.
You're right. It's especially like you said, Joel's probably gonna get MVP if it's not Harden. And
if he can make it through fucking another month.
Literally, right? And just as I'm sorry, you're saying?
He's just so injury prone. And there's nothing wrong with that. When you're a big, it's hard. People don't realize most bigs, when you're past 7 feet, you constantly have foot problems. Once you have a foot problem, it's over.
Yeah, look at KP and
look at Yao. It's historic that you have it's just a foot issue, bro. Your NBA is one of the most strenuous things on your body. You're playing 82 games.
Yeah, just running back and forth.
What? 82. That's not including your daily practices, and that's not including weightlifting. Like, yeah, it's a job.
You really feel for players with great players who don't get that ring. Vince Carter, I don't even think he didn't even make the finals, running back and forth for 22 seasons. You have your Chris Pauls, even though the Suns could be another force to be reckoned with in the West. Melo, obviously another one. It's worth getting that ring.
Really think about it, bro. I played basketball not too long ago for a short period of time, for like a week, and I was sore for 3. These niggas are playing back-to-back games, all type.
Yeah,
like,
right.
What?
Oh,
especially with this guy, Derek. He's a hack, bro.
Not better than me.
Yo, anytime we play, you never lead a team like I do.
Alex is not better than me.
You're not good. You think you're good.
Alex is a crash course dummy. He gets on the court and just like just drives to the lane. He's like Giannis. Like, you crash course dummy.
Yo, Giannis is a two-time MVP.
You got those. Do you have that? But so you would say you have that drive on playing a pickup game.
Yeah. I love playing basketball.
I'm gonna score any way possible. Is my left is not as strong as my right. I have handle, but I would say I could work on my left a little bit. But when it comes to like getting to the basket, I'm getting to the basket.
Yeah, all I could do
is on expense.
Are you gonna were you somebody who would you flop if you get fouled like a Joel? Or
no.
Have your hands all over, or you're making that no matter what?
You're gonna get out of the way. Alex is gonna foul you.
So this is the thing. If it was organized basketball, the Derek would foul out in the first 2 minutes.
That's not true. You would get offensive fouls, bro.
You're not strong enough. You're not strong enough.
You throw, you do mad crazy shit.
You're not strong enough, so you do everything to try to like foul me.
We're gonna do a 1-on-1 game, and Matt gonna be the ref.
Yes, we are.
We're playing 1-on-1. I don't want to play you.
Yo,
I don't want to play you. There's no benefit.
We gotta get that. We gotta get that video clip going.
The only time Alex plays good is when he's on my team. I make him better. He could tell you that right now.
You're the LeBron.
I'm lying.
That's cap. I make
LeBron making the team player better.
No, I would say he thinks he's better than he is. He has good highlights to his game, bro. He has good moments to his game.
Remember what I said about Ursula Burns? You got to walk in the room and say who you are, because other people
say who you are. A bad shooter. Say who you are. A bad shooter, bad defender.
This guy. This is crazy.
We definitely have to test that very, very soon. I'll be on that just for the sake of getting
we need a Brooklyn Queens weekend. We needed a company game, D versus A.
Yeah, that would be sick.
My team versus your team. Let's do it.
I'm bringing all NBA style players, bro.
All right.
I just want to throw it out there. I do have a good shoot game, especially from the 3. But that's
I'm not
really
confident.
Yeah, you said
that I'll prove you that. So I'll rock it with that way, and then or the motivator.
Okay.
But you will need me one way or the other. So we can have that draft and see where my motivational skills come in. But anyways, back to the Proust questionnaire. I asked you what turns you on out. I asked you guys both what turns you on.
Hey, yo.
So we'll start with Famo on this one. What turns you off in this world?
Laziness, excuses, saying you can't, not taking initiative. I hate that shit. Get that out of here.
That's what I hear. What about you, Alex? How would you answer that?
Stink pussy.
Hey man, I think
yeah. No, that's the answer. That turns me off.
That's my answer.
Is that your answer?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. I think in all serious, I think that is a fair answer. No one wants to be unhydrated and unhealthy, and nobody needs that scent. That just that cursed scent that makes you never want
That that ting.
Yes, everybody, don't forget to take showers in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll start with Alex on this one. What sound or noise do you love?
Hold on, my computer died. I was gonna play a little squirt noise, but look, all jokes aside, because these are set up to be sexual.
Yeah, they are set up to be sexual.
You know,
no, but you know what?
I guess so. I never really thought of it that way, but looking back, you know,
I'm not gonna
make
the
case.
sound. I'm not gonna make the sound, but I love the sound of some wet spits.
Yeah.
Some wet spits. I mean, like that nasty one. You be like, and it start dripping down in your butthole. You be like, whoa.
Yo, that is a first.
And then you gotta go to the bathroom and wipe your butthole up later. Like, yo, whoa.
Yeah,
I mean, she has a wet tongue on her.
You know, let's get that stank out for that too.
And then you bring the fucking towel that you keep on the side of your bed. Like, look, I knew I had to keep this here for handiness. Yes.
Lessons learned always in the Productive Conversations podcast. Famo, what sound or noise do you love?
Really good mac and cheese.
The sound of that?
Yeah, really good mac and cheese.
Yeah, you know, when you get that spoon in and you just rig it up together, popping it down. All the senses really are hit, especially the sound one. So
yeah.
Now let me ask you this, Famo. What sound or noise do you hate?
What sound or noise do I hate? Sound and noise do I hate? Uncertainty. Like, you know when people I don't know.
Yeah.
That this shit right here.
Make up your mind.
Yeah, I hate this shit. I hate that shit. Be transparent, tell me the truth. Like
everyone knows the honest, obvious truth in their head. And I understand. It took me a long time to just knew it's better to let it out. And that is extreme facts right there. What sound or noise do you hate, Alex?
Oh, I hate people speaking unknowingly, man. Like, shut up.
Transitioning to that, Alex, what is your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Mine too.
You too?
Yeah. Fuck.
Fuck.
It just cuts through. It just cuts through.
Like, there's two types of fucks though. There's FUCK and there's FW. Or how do you spell it?
Fuck.
Yeah. Fuck.
Oh yeah, like I just dropped my beer.
Fuck. Yeah. Fuck. That shit right there.
It's like when Alex goes to the basket and misses the dunk and goes fuck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's it. So that doesn't happen often.
No, it happens. But go ahead.
Yo, I played with this guy, right? I had like 12. He told me to come to his company game. I had like 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're doing so well. You're burning yourself out in the first 10 minutes. I'm like, bro.
Half of those are off my assists. I just want to record though.
How many points did he?
Facts.
He had 0 points. He had 0 points.
I had like 10 assists.
And in that game, I left my body. I put my body on the line. I tore my meniscus in that game. I gave him my all.
Not good.
I gave it. Listen. I gave him my all, Matt, and I put his company in the playoffs with that game.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
That game.
I have to. We all have to ball. I have to see this once and for all at this point. I'm too intrigued.
Yeah.
Can you also sponsor a ref?
Can you sponsor? I'll play double duty with that.
Okay, this guy's a hack. You know what? I'm gonna hire a ref to ref our game.
Yeah, do it.
And you're gonna get offensive fouls. I don't think you understand that.
Okay.
Or are you gonna be the Michael who tells you to do the fouls?
Hey, you get 4. You get 5 of them.
Man, this is a great show. It really is. So we're gonna go with Alex with this one. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I wear a lot of hats already, so I don't know. I think I'm doing everything I want to do. I fell in love with working with cameras and TV and producing. Music was always my first love, and I think I'm doing everything that fulfills me right now. I don't know what else I would be doing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's fair answer.
Like just getting on tracks and bodying the Derek is like, that's just something I wake up and love doing.
I love it, man. Love it. What would you say, Famo?
Piggyback it on Alex. I feel like we already wear multiple hats. I'm actually trying to take off some hats and pass them on to other people. In the place right now where I could start delegating and just focus on music. You just said that's not sanitary.
Yeah, you taking the hat off and giving you're wilding.
But after I reach my music goals, like maybe 10 years down the line, 12 years down the line, I'm gonna just be an exec.
Yeah, look at that. All right. So I'll ask you this, Famo. What profession would you not like to do?
What I not like to do? The one I'm in now. And when I say that, I mean like not music, like my day job, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's not my passion. You know, like it pays the bills, it makes the money. I know how to do it, but
you want to do your passion.
Yeah, pack that up.
What would you say, Alex? What job do you not want in this world?
The job that I don't want, I would say, is the guy that has to clean up all the cum after like a porn scene. Like there's a guy who has to clean all that stuff. I don't want to be that guy.
That's a fair answer. Better than the fluffer.
The guy that has to do that. Like, come here, sweetheart, come here.
Yo, you want to know something? I have this inside joke with my friends from college. You know, don't understand the production, freelancing, bouncing around. They always send me fluffer jobs. You know, where you gotta get a guy snake ready. It's like I cannot wait to give you that application back.
But there's a guy that has to clean up all that cum off the floor for the next person. Hey, it was heavy today. What you guys been eating? What you guys been eating? Coconut juice?
Okay. Oh man, they talk about things that stink, man.
Hey, your shit stinking. You gotta check that out.
Get that pH right.
You know that. You know what's fun? You know the funniest line about porn I've ever heard is like, yo, people don't realize you can't smell that set. I heard it stinks, man.
Ooh.
Like this, but I don't know, man, because you could have some man stink too.
Yeah.
So. Like I said, hopefully I can have somebody one day to explain what it's like in that world. But
imagine you're like, all right, look at the camera.
Do you think you could like hypothetically? That just be so hard for me, you know. Getting so filmed, having sex.
That word. It's gonna be so hard.
Like, it would be
difficult. It's imperative that you use another word.
Yeah, I feel like something like that. I don't want cameras out. I want to enjoy the moment. I don't. You know, this is me. I have other people, whack off this. Not me.
You never had sex and pulled the camera out?
No, I haven't, man.
What?
You gotta get yourself a GoPro with a selfie stick. I'm dead serious.
make some POV videos.
You ever seen Paid in Full?
Hey,
nah.
Okay, when you watch that movie, Paid in Full, it's a classic movie, actually directed by Dame Dash. There's a scene with Rico. He's creating his own porno scene. That's what I want you to do. That should be on your bucket list. You just, all right.
I guess we'll say never, but who knows where life will take us. But I get the vibe. Have you taken the camera out?
Am I taking the camera out for you?
No, have you? I mean, sure, if you're welcome to.
No.
Have you ever taken the camera out?
I am. I would need consent for that. No.
No, of course. If everyone consents, do you pull the camera out and say, "Hey"?
I don't have to pull it out. Set up in the walls.
Man, what a
Hey,
world we live in.
It's funny.
Hey.
It's funny because you think I'm joking.
Hey, I did some wild shit. On Valentine's Day this year, right? And I'm just gonna share it. so I'm in LA. with my shorty or whatever. And she wanted me to blindfold her. I don't know, I got carried away.
And then the cameras came out.
I got carried away, right? So the bed had some fucking lamps, like these two lamps on top right here. But the cords was mad long. So I blindfolded her and I tied her hands. I tied her hands around the lamps. And it just looked like some 50 Shades of Grey shit. It was crazy. It was fun though. We recorded it. It was fun. You should try it.
Send it to me.
No. What?
That shit sounds sexy.
Yo,
It was a wild night.
I'll just say, this is my honest answer. Never say never. I'll say that.
Yeah,
never say never.
Like, we might be able to leak that and get some money.
No.
That's how you get viral.
Nah, that shit was crazy though.
We talk offline, but send that to me.
He's that.
Man, I appreciate you guys' energy. My final question for you guys. I'll start with Fame on this and then end with Alex. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Was good, nigga. Oh, my mama.
Okay.
All right. Good answer. What would you say, Alex?
What would I want God to say if we arrived at the pearly gates?
Yep.
I want him to say, "Hey, Alex, can you hide all the lamps? The Derek's here."
Look at that, man. Look at that.
Hide all the lamps. The Derek is here.
Yeah, that shit was crazy though. I think a lot.
Man.
I definitely don't want him to say, "Yo, you barely made it."
Barely. All right. We let you slip through on this one, so you appreciate your time in heaven, but you could have been down there.
Hey. He said the weather's better. Teach your song.
Oh, yes. But listen, guys, we've been at it for 2 hours. Amazing 2 hours with that. Again, is there anything else you guys want to say before we sign off here?
Let's talk.
Oh, man, let's talk. I appreciate you, bro.
Let's talk. The album's out now, man. You can get all your hats only at thecompanyDNA.com. Make sure if you get your packages, these hats also come with a free download of the album. You can only get it at thecompanyDNA.com. And like I said, when you get this album, you're also going to be able to stream certain things that others can't. And when
Absolutely.
I say that, all year long, you're going to be able to get things coming in subscription, exclusive songs, exclusive videos that only the family could get, man. Make sure you get it at thecompanyDNA.com. Ow!
Perfect way to end it. It's been a great time, guys. I hope this is the beginning of more collaborations. Please, if you have any tour dates to promote, any shows, your next projects, let me know, and I'll let my audience know. It was nothing but a pleasure, guys. Seriously, great to know you some more, Famo. Good to catch up with you, Alex.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the both of you. Can't wait to do this again. And I can't wait to see the world chant, more of the world chanting your music. Great job, guys. Thanks again. You. Don't forget, like you said, thecompanyDNA.com. Download the album. Coming very soon on streaming services.
Matt, insert right here the video of you getting some cheeks like this with the camera, right here.
Let me tell you, if that happens, I will let you guys know.
Okay. I'm not gonna be the guy to clean it up though, but I'll watch it.
Yes, that will be figured out. But seriously though, guys, check out the company, check out their work. Also, don't forget to check out strandworldwide.com as well to see their other endeavors. And don't forget to check out the company, DNA.com, to check out all exclusive content regarding this amazing group. Don't forget to follow them on social media platforms as well. But with that, Alex, Famo, the company, big things ahead for these incredibly talented musicians and rappers. I will see you guys very, very soon. Thanks again.
Thank you. Let's talk.
Let's talk.